that means aggregate led by Cetana, led by Sankhara, which is Cetana. So Sankhara Khanda, or aggregate of mental formation, means the remaining 50 Cetasikas, including Cetana. And so Cetana is most prominent among them with respect to producing results, with respect to conditioning. So it is taken to be prominent among the Cetasikas. And these Cetasikas headed by Cetana, which is called Sankhara, these Cetasikas are called Sankhara Khanda, aggregate of Sankhara. So aggregate of mental formations means the aggregate of Cetasikas. There are altogether 52 Cetasikas, but number 2 is a separate aggregate, number 3 is also a separate aggregate. So without number 2 and 3, we get the remaining 50 Cetasikas. These 50 Cetasikas are collectively called Sankhara Khanda, aggregate of mental formations.
Can you clarify that again? The 2 that are not Sankhara Cetasika is 2 and 3 is not part of that. 2
and 3 are separate aggregates, so they are not included in the aggregate of mental formations, because they are separate ones. They do not belong to the third aggregate. So Vedana is one aggregate, Sanya is another separate aggregate, and the remaining 50 are another aggregate, the aggregate of mental formations. So aggregate of mental formations consists of these 50 Cetasikas, and these are here given in groups. And here also, if you want to study more about them, please go to Manual of Abhidhamma.
Can you clarify when you say something is an aggregate, it has to be of a past, present, and future, external,
yes,
far, and close.
Right.
Can you give us an example of that? How that differs?
Differs from what?
Well, if you say that feeling is an aggregate, are you talking about feeling can be in the past and the present and the future?
Yes. Although the particular feeling we are referring to may be just the present feeling, or the past feeling, or the future feeling, it can be called an aggregate because it can be divided into, or it can belong to past, present, future, and so on. Now I told you this because we have not come to the end of the 5 aggregates yet. Now, there is no Nibbana among the 5 aggregates. The first is Rupa, the second feeling, the third perception, 4 these mental formations or mental factors, and the 5th is consciousness. There's only no Nibbana. Why is Nibbana not included in the aggregate? Why is Nibbana not called an aggregate? Because Nibbana is only one. There can be no present Nibbana, past Nibbana, or future Nibbana. It goes beyond time, beyond present, past, and future. And it is only external, not internal. So it has no division between external and internal. It is only external. And it is always subtle. It is not never grows, something like that. So it has no division. That is why Nibbana is not included in the aggregate. I saved it for at the end of the aggregate, but you ask now, so it's okay. So now the 50 Cetasikas. You know many of these Cetasikas. Let us go through the list rather quickly. Contact, the first one, contact. Here contact means mental contact, not physical contact. You see something and there is a contact of your eye sensitivity with the visible object, and through this contact there is seeing consciousness, and through the contact, through the coming together of these three things, there arises this mental factor contact. So contact is not just the meeting together, but something that arises as a result of meeting together of the three. The three means the visible object, the eye, and the seeing consciousness. So when the visible object comes into the avenue of the eye, and there is seeing consciousness. So when there is seeing consciousness and the eye and the visible object, then contact also arises. So contact is not just mere coming together of the three, but something that arises through coming together of these three. But when it arises simultaneously with these three. Something like, say, when you make a noise, I mean the noise arises simultaneously with coming together of two hands, right? It doesn't come only later, but just when you put them together there is noise, something like that. When these three come together, then contact arises. So although it is the result of these three coming together, it arises simultaneously with these three. So that is what we call contact, and this is mental contact. And then the next, one-pointedness of mind, that means concentration. When we say concentration, we mean this mental factor, one-pointedness of mind, or mind having one object. So this is concentration. And then life faculty, that is something you found life faculty among the 28 material properties. So there is one life faculty for material properties and one for mental properties or mental state. And then number 7 is attention. So without attention there can be no taking of the object. So these 7 are called universals. That means they arise with every type of consciousness. And then the next one's initial application, sustained application. Initial application means really mind hitting the object, mind going to the object. The first contact of mind with the object. And sustained application means the follow up. Something like, so the first sound is like vitaka, initial application. And then, what do you call that after sound?
Vibration.
Vibration. That is like sustained application. And then the number 10, adimokkha, decision. That you make some decision. And virya, effort. Effort means mental effort. So through mental effort, you also do physical effort. So first there is mental effort, and following that mental effort, you do with your body something, and so there is physical effort. But here what is meant is in your mind, mental effort. Then 12, piti, joy. So you feel piti, say when you are happy. Sometimes you feel piti when you have, what do you call that? Hair standing on end. Goosebumps. Yes. Oh, goose flesh. Right. That is the sign of piti. So sometimes when you are meditating, you may feel this goose flesh going here and there, and that is a sign of piti. Sometimes you feel like something like that. That's also sometimes caused by piti. And then there is chanda, conation. Chanda means just the will to do. This is not attachment, but this is something like the desire to do or will to do. Suppose that you want to give something to somebody, and then you pick that up. So when you pick that up, you have no attachment for that thing, but you have the desire to pick that up, and that desire is called chanda. So chanda is to be differentiated from attachment here. And this chanda can accompany both kusala and akusala, wholesome and unwholesome type of consciousness. And then we have unwholesome mental factors, most of them. Right? The first one is delusion or ignorance. So we are ignorant of the true nature of mind and matter, so we are trying to see true nature of mind and matter through practice of meditation. Then second one is moral shamelessness, that is shameless to do what is morally wrong. And moral fearlessness means you don't fear any consequences of your wrong behavior, things that are morally wrong. So you are not ashamed to do wrong and you are not afraid to do wrong. So that is moral shamelessness and moral fearlessness. And then number 17 is udhacha, restlessness of mind. Your mind not on the object evenly and squarely. So it is not on the object and it is not on the other object also. So it is just something like wavering above the object, not stuck to the object. It often happens when we practice meditation. Sometimes we don't seem to be with the object as we want it to be. So that means there is some kind of udhacha, restlessness. And then number 18, lobha, attachment, that deity, wrong view. That is taking things to be impermanent, things to be permanent, suffering to be, say, happiness, and soulless to be soul, and so on. Deity, mana, conceit or pride. So most of us have this mana. And then dosa, ill will, anger, hatred. Isa, jealousy. So when someone is in success, in prosperity, we don't like it. Something like that. That is isa. And machariya, avariciousness. Machariya really means intolerance of one's property to be common to others. Or to put it plainly, say, I own this machine. Then I don't want other people to not even touch it. So if you come and touch it or use it, I'm angry. Mm-hmm. And that is what is called machariya. So machariya is not stinginess, but intolerance for one's property to be common to others. So I have this thing, I have this machine, and I don't want any other person to touch it or to make use of it. And if you do, then I'll get angry. And that is machariya. And 24, kokuja, remorse. That means regret or remorse for having done something wrong or having not done something good. So both are called remorse. And then 25 and 26, tina and meda, you already know, that is sleepiness. And vicikecha, doubt. Now doubt is indecision, not able to decide one or the other. Now, suppose you have doubt about something, say, you are not sure whether, say, rupa is permanent or impermanent. So if you cannot decide, if you are in doubt, if you are wavering, then you have this doubt. But if you believe that, say, rupa is impermanent, then you have a right view. Then if you decide that rupa is permanent, you have wrong view. But this doubt goes between these two. You do not come to decision. Say, if someone asks, is rupa permanent? You may say, oh, I don't know. And is it impermanent? You say, I don't know. So that indecision, wavering, is called doubt. If you come to decision, then you will come to right view or wrong view, one way or the other.
Can we go back to remorse? Is it remorse for wrongdoing a good aspect of the mind?
No, it is among the unwholesome. Now, right. I don't know what repenting means. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the kukuja means feeling sorry or feeling depressed about what you did in the past, what you did or what you did not do in the past. So it is a kind of mental defilement. The repent has some good connotation. You repent from doing akusala and then you change yourself. Right. Yeah. But this kukucha is just feeling sorry for or feeling regret for something you did in the past or something you did not do in the past. And so it is among the unwholesome mental states.
Does this imply that remorse for doing wrong and keep doing the wrong again? Because if you remorse and then you don't do it anymore, then it should be a good
Actually, if you have remorse, then you know that it was wrong to do that. Right. There was a monk called Suddhena, and at that time Buddha had not laid down any rules. So he was sincere when he became a monk, because his parents did not want him to become a monk. So he lay down on the ground and he didn't eat anything until they consent to his ordination. But after becoming a monk, he went to another place. Then I think after about 10 or 12 years, he came back to his native place. And that time, his father asked him to come back to lay life, because he had wives. So he said, "No, I'm very happy as a monk." So his father showed him the heaps of gold and silver and showed him that this is your inheritance, and if you do not come back to lay life, then we will lose all these to the king, because if there are no heirs, then it will become property of the government, right? Yeah. So they always harass him like that. And one day the parents, especially the father, asked, "If you do not want to come back to real life, just give us a child." So he brought his former wife, and then there was this act. And then he knew that it was wrong. So he was depressed by this remorse, and so he became thin and just skin and skeleton and so on. And so when other monks asked him, "Why are you so thin and look so depressed?" and he said, I have done this thing. So it was reported to the Buddha, and then the Buddha laid down the rule that monks must not have sex. So remorse is like that. The kokuja is like that. So he knew that it was wrong to do this, but he did that, and so he had a bad feeling about that. Now the others are beautiful, they're good qualities. Confidence, it can be translated as faith also, but it is not blind faith, but it is faith with understanding. So it is confidence. And number 29 you all know, mindfulness, sati. And 30, moral shame. It is the opposite of number 16. And number 31 is opposite of number 16. So you refrain from doing something morally wrong because you are ashamed of doing that, or you are afraid of its consequences. And then number 32, non-attachment means generosity. So when you give something, when you donate something, and then there is non-attachment. Adhosa, non-ill will, that means loving kindness, goodwill. And number 34, tatra majadada, equanimity, that means not biased, not partial, so impartiality, equanimity. And then number 35, tranquility of namakaya. Now namakaya means the cetasikas. So the word kaya here means mental things, not physical. And number 36, Cheta Pasati, tranquility of Cheta. And so the pairs go lightness of Namakaya, lightness of Chaita, pliancy of Namakaya, pliancy of Chaita, adaptability of Namakaya, adaptability of Chaita, proficiency of Namakaya, proficiency of Chaita, rectitude of, that means straightness of Namakaya, and rectitude of Chaita. So these are pairs. So all these are included in Sobhana Chaitasikas, beautiful Chaitasikas, and they accompany wholesome Chaitas and also resultant and functional Chaitas. And then there are 3 abstinences: right speech, right action, right livelihood. Where do you find them? Where else do you find them? Among the 8 factors of Eightfold Noble Path. So right speech means abstention from wrong speech, abstention from lying, abstention from backbiting, abstention from harsh speech, abstention from talking nonsense. And right action means abstention from killing, stealing and sexual misconduct. And right livelihood means abstention from the 4 wrongdoings by word of mouth and 3 wrongdoings by body as a livelihood. That means if you abstain from killing, now they say you are a student. So if you abstain from killing a fish, that means right action. But if you are a fisherman and you abstain from killing fish, then that is right livelihood. So it is the same abstaining from killing fish. But if it is your livelihood and you abstain from it, then it is called right livelihood. So these 3, right speech, right action, right livelihood, are called abstinences because actually they are abstention from misconduct, 3 kinds of misconduct. And then number 50 is karuna, compassion. Now compassion means desire for beings to get free from suffering, to get free from affliction. So when you see someone afflicted with, say, pain or whatever, you have desire for him to get free from that, and that is what we call karuna, compassion. So when you practice karuna, you say, may this person get free from suffering. So when I say, may suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be, may the grieving shed all grief and all beings find relief. That is karuna, not metta. So there is difference between metta and karuna. Metta means may they be happy. That is metta. May they be well, happy and peaceful. That is karuna. May they get free from suffering. That is karuna. Yeah. Then next one is mudita, sympathetic joy. That means may they not fall from the present status, present conditions, present prosperity. That is mudita. I mean sympathetic joy. You are joyous with that person. So it is the opposite of jealousy. Jealousy, if you have jealousy, you cannot be happy with other people's success or prosperity. So here you are happy with them. So it is the opposite of jealousy. Now karuna and mudita. Now the last one, panyendriya, faculty of wisdom. That is understanding, wisdom, knowledge. So all of them are called panyendriya. And actually understanding or wisdom means understanding the 4 noble truths, or understanding the true nature of things. That is understanding the impermanence and so on of things, especially through meditation. So these are the 50 Chaitasikas which are collectively called what? What khana? Aggregates of mental formations, aggregate of sankhara. So when we say aggregate of sankhara, we mean these 50 Chaitasikas. So mental factors and aggregates. Number 2, Vedana is aggregate of feeling, Vedana Khanda. Number 3, Sanya is aggregate of perception, Sanya Khanda, and the remaining 50 headed by Cetana. Number 1, and then number 4 to number 52, aggregate of mental formations, Sankhara Khanda. So we have come to the end of four aggregates. So we have yet one more to go, and that is what? The aggregate of consciousness. I think we'll pick it up next time. There are 89 or 121 types of consciousness. So if you are impatient, you can read the first chapter of the manual of Abhidhamma. So the first chapter deals with these types of consciousness, and the second chapter deals with 52 Cetasikas. So if you are impatient, please read these 2 chapters in that book.